is a monster. He's a monster. When you can do that to so many families and have that power over the deceased, that's your loved one in there that he's done that to. That is a monster. I'm in a situation now where I have got to convince myself that what I have got is my parents, but I'll never be 100% sure now, never.
Alright. I'm just here talking to
Good luck to stay seated. Thank you by American Airlines.
Alright, Robert, just stand up and come with us, that's alright, please. Do you have anything in the overhead cabins as well? Yeah, we'll get that, yeah, it's fine. I've got you everything, so you go. Police, yes. So I'm PC1199. I'm arresting you at the current time on suspicion of preventing the lawful and decent burial of multiple dead bodies and fraud by false representation and fraud by abuse of position. It is suspected that in your role as Director of Legacy Independent Funeral Directors that you have failed to bury deceased persons and falsely represented the burials that had taken place and received payment to do so. Therefore, you are arrested for preventing a lawful and decent burial of a body, fraud by false representation and fraud by abuse of position. You don't have to say anything, but may I in defence if you don't mention one question, something which will later rely on the court, anything you do say can be given evidence. Do you understand that? Okay?
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Detective Superintendent Alan Curtis, and I've been the Senior Investigating Officer leading this investigation. This is Detective Constable Lorraine Mackey, also from the Major Crime Team, who was the officer in charge of the case. Robert Bush was charged with 67 offences in connection to our investigation into his business Legacy Funeral Directors, based in Hull, after a report was received in March 2024 of concern for care of the deceased. Today he has pleaded guilty to all remaining charges against him, which included prevention of a lawful and decent burial and theft. This is in addition to the 36 charges that he had previously pleaded guilty to. The utter devastation and emotional harm Robert Bush has caused to hundreds of victims and families cannot be underestimated. They trusted he would look after those who meant the most to them, and that he would treat their loved ones with dignity, respect, and in accordance with their wishes. This did not happen. 31 families believed their loved ones had been cremated, when in fact they'd remained on site within the Legacy premises on Hessel Road. Most had been given ashes and had been advised that their loved one's cremation had taken place. Other families who had chosen cremations with Legacy were left waiting for ashes that have never been provided, or were deceived by Bush and given ashes that we now know not to be their loved ones. The distress and devastation that this has caused for those families is simply unimaginable. People paid Bush for funeral plans so that the future of their families they didn't have to worry about the costs of their own funerals. He betrayed this trust, leaving some victims and their families with the uncertainty around their own funeral arrangements and without means to pay for them. The damage he has caused to families across our communities is quite possibly irreparable, with so many victims who have suffered and continue to do so. Losing a family member or friend or a loved one and care deeply about can be one of the most traumatic experiences you can go through, and Robert Bush took advantage of this. Whilst he has admitted his guilt and ensured families and victims will not have to go through the ordeal of a trial, the harm and pain he has already inflicted can never be undone. I would like to take this opportunity to sincerely thank all of my colleagues who are involved in the case, as well as the Major Crime Team for their unwavering dedication and hard work in building a strong case against Robert Bush. Your commitment and resilience have been truly commendable, and I'm deeply grateful for the effort and care you've shown throughout this inquiry. The families and all those affected in the case have always remained at the heart of our investigation from the very beginning. Their understanding, support and contribution throughout the duration of the inquiry has been truly invaluable, and without them we simply could not have achieved the outcome we've achieved today. They've demonstrated extraordinary strength, resilience and courage in the case in unimaginable circumstances, and I want to offer my sincerest thanks and appreciation to all of them. Our thoughts are with them today, as it is with their loved ones and everyone connected to the case. I'll now hand over to my colleagues at CPS.
Thank you, good morning. My name's Laura Tams, I'm a Deputy Chief Crown Prosecutor.
Why do you bury them? Why do you bury them? Say sorry, Mr. Bush!
Are you going to say sorry? Isn't it time you said sorry, Mr. Bush? Isn't it time you said sorry? They want you to say sorry, and yet you can't manage it. Christmas with your family, isn't it time you said sorry?
Say sorry, Mr. Bush!
I can't for the life of me understand why you would be quiet. Why you wouldn't say something.
Was it for greed, Mr. Bush? Was it pure greed?
You got an apology, Mr. Bush. After all this time, an apology was it.
And he walks out again.
2.5 years of probing! What have you got to say for the families, Robert? No apologies!
Got a message for the families, Robert. Robert, got a message for the families? No? Not sorry, not sad.
Your
no
time will
apologies, you pig! Sorry. Really we're down on the best into tears now. Not do that.
No, not yet.
You've done so
We
well
can
so
cry
far.
afterwards.
Yeah, you can have a good cry afterwards.
Come on, Michaela.
Statement for the whole 35. We are relieved that Mr. Bush has finally admitted to the crimes against our families and loved ones. It brings us a step closer to justice as we await sentencing. Sadly, it also leaves many unanswered questions. We thank the police and court for their considerable time and effort in handling this matter. It has been a long, hard road for all concerned. When this ordeal started, we were blindsided. We had no idea to the level of repulsive and sickening findings inside that funeral director's building. There is an enduring sense of deep betrayal, emotional stress and damage caused by this individual to many families right across this city. From the torment of not knowing whether we have ashes of our loved ones, to families having the trauma of DNA profiling to establish the identity of their deceased loved ones and having the distress of a second funeral. Not to mention the anguish and hardship caused by fraudulent and now worthless funeral plans. This is just the start for us, the start for pushing for legislation to ensure that no funeral director can ever do the same thing. From stealing charity funds at the end of a service, to making sure human cremated remains are returned to grieving families or scattered in a memorial garden, we must ensure none of our loved ones can ever again be held decomposing when indeed families have arranged cremations, and the worry caused by the sale of fraudulent funeral plans. This new legislation should be created in consultation with us who have actually been affected. Questions. Could Mr. Bush have been stopped earlier? Should the malpractices have been discovered sooner? The scale of public concern surrounding legacy funeral directors necessitates a formal investigation. We believe MP Emma Hardy should be requesting a public inquiry, as it is essential to establish accountability and implement the safeguards required to prevent any future reoccurrence. The healing for us also starts today. Collectively, we have supported each other through this extremely difficult time. That support continues.
Well done.
Today, Robert Bush has pleaded guilty to a number of charges in connection with the operation of the Legacy Independent Funeral Directors premises here in Hull. The charges represent the most serious breaches of trust. They include preventing the lawful and decent burial of bodies, defrauding families who paid for services which were never provided, returning wrong ashes to grieving families, fraudulent trading of funeral plans, and the theft of charitable donations made in memory of the deceased for causes that they cared about. The impact on the families and the wider community has been profound. At their most vulnerable time, when seeking dignity and closure for their loved ones, these families were subjected to appalling violations of trust. At the heart of this case is the absolute lack of decency shown by Robert Bush to the loved ones in his care and to their families. This lack of decency has caused them additional trauma and has significantly impacted the community. This has been a complex and challenging case for our specialist prosecution team, but working closely with Humberside Police, we were able to review extensive evidence at pace to authorise these charges and to build a comprehensive case that reflects the scale and severity of Robert Bush's offending. The defendant's decision to enter guilty pleas today acknowledges the strength of the evidence against him. I would like to commend the work of the investigative team at Humberside Police for their dedication and professionalism. They've worked tirelessly to achieve justice for the victims here. And while nothing can undo the harm that has been caused to these families, today's guilty plea represents an important step towards justice for all those who have suffered from these deplorable actions. Thank you.